Hey, what's up guys, it's Ronald here. So this video is going to focus on Herman Mashaba being a flip-flopper and why you should never vote for Action SA, because what they say today will not be the same as to what they say tomorrow. Now, a recent example of this is Herman Mashaba saying that the ANC is a criminal network and that they won't work with the devil. And then also in a recent one in which he said that they will not work with the ANC in 300 years. And yet they are in a coalition now with the ANC in Tshwane. And Herman Mashaba has come out and said that he doesn't have a problem to consider working in the GNU with the ANC. So clearly flip-flopping there. But what has happened over the weekend is that Herman Mashaba, who has been vocal against anti-broad-based black economic empowerment laws and wanting to scrap it, has now suddenly decided that he's going to reverse on that stance. That's right. As you can see here from Herman Mashaba today, he says, "We are working hard and strategically to ensure that redress policies are not reversed through extortion in the most unequal society on earth." And Herman Pretorius came and asked him, he says, Mashaba comes out swinging for redress policies like BEE. The man has absolutely no shame, substance, or integrity. God bless social media for cutting through political spin to reveal the truth about those seeking power. Now, he's referring to Herman Mashaba saying that he will not, he doesn't want broad-based black economic empowerment. He wants to actually repeal it. And then his clap back to Herman Pretorius is, if anyone is against redress policies and think you can use extortion against a vulnerable ANC, I suggest you consider Trump's offer. We can't in good conscience accept to live in the most unequal society. So his answer to this unequal society is just to create another unequal society. Punish young white individuals that had no hand in apartheid and had no hand in the failure by the ANC government to uplift the poorest of the poor. But now those young white individuals should suffer because of government failure. This is how Herman Mashaba thinks. And if you don't believe me, here is Action SA saying. Action SA comes down hard on BEE and migration, and this was said as of the 15th of September 2023, so less than 2 years ago. It says, Action SA has made bold plans to repeal the contentious Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, proposing to replace it instead with new policies. The party held its inaugural 3-day policy conference this week to thrash out some of its key positions that will feed into a manifesto to attract voters in next year's elections. So this was clearly an election ploy then by Herman Mashaba, if you just look at what he is saying now, because they said that they want to repeal these laws, and now he's saying if anyone is against redress policies and think you can use extortion against a vulnerable ANC, I suggest you consider Trump's offer. That also is, once again, him assuming that it's only white people that's against BEE. Now, there was a recent poll done by News 24 regarding BEE, and the overwhelming majority of South Africans do not want BEE. They want those laws repealed. They want them gone. But Herman, in his racist mentality that he's displayed on social media over the last few years, but specifically over the last few weeks, he clearly assumes that it's only white people that's against these policies, as you can see with his little dig to suggest the Trump offer. Because the Trump offer is open to, white South Africans. And here he is trying to now assume that it's only white people that's against it. But what is really important here is the fact that Herman Mashaba has once again gone against what they promised their voters. Now, this is not the first time, like I said before. There are things that they said they won't work with the ANC. They promised that to their voters before the election, and then one of the first things they did after the elections was to work with the ANC. And now this is another big issue. This is a wedge issue. BEE. People go, we don't want BEE, we want a party that we can vote for to scrap BEE. And Action SA makes that promise in 2023. And here we are now in 2025, and Herman Mashaba is defending BEE laws. So what else is Action ASA going to give up to what they promised their voters? Clearly, you can see here that if Action SA says they're going to do one thing, then they end up doing another thing. It's the same with the VAT increase. They said that, we are going to vote for the VAT increase to stop the VAT increase. That is a recent example. And then it just goes on. What Action SA promises their voters is not what they deliver to their voters. And that is why so many people have rejected Action SA. And hopefully people are starting to see that Herman Mashaba is unhinged. Herman Mashaba has got a distaste for white people based on the posts that he's put out there, but also based on his previous stances. He has been controlled lately by his anti-white sentiment. So anything that a white person seems to agree with, he wants to do the opposite of that. And I mean, this is the example. He said less than 2 years ago, we are going to scrap BEE laws. And now he is defending and fighting for BEE laws and attacking white people that says, let's scrap it. I don't understand what more evidence you need to show that Herman Mashaba does not care for you as a voter of ASA. And secondly, he does not care for white people. This is not me making an assumption. This is him taking his words and believing him. So if you are an ASA voter, I highly recommend that you reconsider it. And if you don't believe me, go and do your own research. Go and look at the promises made by Herman Mashaba before the election and look at how many of those promises he's broken after the election. And then you'll have your answer. Herman Mashaba is on a one-man wrecking ball mission to destroy ASA. And the reason that his individuals in the organization below him are so quiet is because they know that if they speak out against Herman Mashaba, they can lose their positions. That is why Athol Trollip, Michael Beaumont, and various other people, senior leaders in the party, aren't taking him on for making these statements, because Action SA has not held their elective conference to elect their leaders. And this is now 5 years after they've come into existence. So over the last 5 years, they've not held an elective conference, meaning Herman Mashaba is the dictator of ASA, and he decides who is placed where. And if they had an elective conference, that would be different, because people are elected into those positions and they can't just be removed by somebody. But it seems that everybody's all right with not having an elective conference because they are in Herman Mashaba's good books. And this is a clear sign of a dictatorship. This is another EFF. It's as simple as that. It's built around the personality of one individual, and that's it. And nobody else can have a say, and nobody else can give their opinion. It is atrocious, and if you are an ASA voter, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if you're going to vote for ASA again, and if you do that, then you need to get your mind checked. And that's pretty much all I got to say. If you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the join button below. Also, please consider subscribing, smashing the like button, and sharing this video far and wide. WhatsApp, Facebook, X, wherever you want to. It'll be greatly appreciated. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I went my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I went my massacre. My massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I went my massacre. My massacre.